What was the Māori response to the gospel in those early years?
Well, I'd like to begin by saying that there are a range of responses, but begin with the first response. And the first response was Christmas Day 1814, following Marsden's sermon. And the record shows from Nicholas that immediately following the service, that when Nicholas and Marsden came out of the enclosure, several hundred Māori then began a dance, a haka, of furious joy, according to Nicholas. And that haka is known today as Te Hari a Ngāpui, the dance of Ngāpui, the dance of joy of Ngāpui, and in my mind, the dance of joy of hearing the gospel being proclaimed. And the haka itself, the dance, describes the creating of space, making space for the gospel to enter into their hearts, their minds, their lives, their communities, and the world as they knew it. And that's the first response. Responses thereafter were for example, where Māori themselves could see that the interaction with the missionaries was going to be beneficial to them, and so were able then to engage deeper level, and also to be taught agricultural methods, farming, and so forth, to ensure that they themselves were able to adapt to what was going to be for them a whole new experience within their world, and a coming together of two worlds, the Māori and of course the Pākehā world. Now, in the first decade or so, there were no real conversions, there were no baptisms, I understand, except in the 1820s when Henry Williams came over, there became quite a deeper engagement with Māori. So a story that is well known is of a man by the name of Taumatakura, captured by Ngāpui from the east coast, taken to the Bay of Islands. Henry had insisted that his captors free him. Thereupon he was educated in the Christian mission, and in the 1830s returned back to his own people to be himself the evangelist to Ngāti Porou. And what we know through the history from William Williams, is that when he arrived down there, he found Māori communities already using the Christian form of prayer. And so you can see that Māori themselves became quite passionate about spreading the gospel. And so there are a range of responses, but one in which Māori communities were being transformed all around Aotearoa, particularly in the north where great numbers of baptisms took place. My own great-great-grandfather himself was in a mass baptism in 1837 in Kaitaia by Henry Williams. So you see these happening all around in that period in, say, the mid-19th century.